probably seen the thumbnails. 30 days of NoFap changed my life. 90 days of NoFap, I'm not the same person anymore. Or, I quit porn, you should too. Hundreds of thousands of views, millions of comments, people swearing that quitting porn and masturbation made them more confident, more focused, more masculine. But here's the thing, does NoFap actually improve your health, your hormones, your energy, or is it just another internet myth dressed up as science? The answer might surprise you, because while the internet sells you a transformation, the science tells a more complicated story. Stick with me until the end. We're going to break this down like no one else has. You'll walk away with clarity. No fluff, no clickbait, just facts. Let's begin. NoFap is a movement, but it's also become a philosophy, a lifestyle, even a belief system for some. It started in 2011 when a Reddit user posted a thread linking to a 2003 study from China suggesting that abstaining from ejaculation for 7 days temporarily boosted testosterone. That small finding, which we'll talk more about in a minute, went viral. Very quickly, a Reddit community formed around the idea of quitting porn and masturbation altogether. The name NoFap comes from the slang term fap, a crude internet word for male masturbation. The idea was simple, don't fap, and with time, this turned into a 90-day challenge. Then came streaks, day counters, routines, accountability groups. For some, it became almost like a digital boot camp for becoming a better man. Why did it resonate so much? Because many men, especially young men, were quietly struggling with porn addiction, low motivation, low energy, and social anxiety. NoFap gave them a clear enemy, porn and masturbation, and a simple solution, abstain and everything will improve. Let's break down the claims people make: increased testosterone, more energy and drive, sharper focus, improved social confidence, better sexual performance, reduced depression and anxiety. Some even go further, saying they attract women effortlessly, develop deeper voices, and transform their posture and facial structure. Sounds extreme? That's because it is. But there are grains of truth behind the hype and a lot of misunderstanding about what's really happening. First, let's talk about the brain. Watching porn activates the brain's dopamine pathways, the same reward circuits triggered by food, gambling, social media, and drugs. Over time, frequent use of porn can desensitize these pathways, leading to lower sensitivity to normal rewards. A 2014 study by Kuhn and Gallinat, published in JAMA Psychiatry, found that men who watched more porn had less gray matter in the reward centers of the brain and reduced activity when exposed to sexual stimuli. That suggests a neurological impact of chronic consumption. So yes, there's evidence that compulsive porn use can change how your brain processes pleasure. Now, does that mean masturbation itself is harmful? Not necessarily. Multiple studies, including a large one from JAMA in 2004, found that frequent ejaculation, including from masturbation, was associated with a lower risk of prostate cancer later in life. Masturbation is also known to reduce stress, help with sleep, and promote sexual self-awareness. The American Urological Association considers it a normal part of male sexual health. The real problem isn't the act, it's the behavior around it. Compulsive use, escaping emotions, avoiding real intimacy, using porn as a coping mechanism for boredom, stress, or social isolation. That's where NoFap has some valid ground. In fact, a 2016 study published in Sexual Medicine found that excessive porn use can interfere with sexual satisfaction and contribute to erectile dysfunction, even in young men. Interestingly, this dysfunction wasn't due to physical problems, but to a disconnection between fantasy and reality. When men overconsume porn, they can condition themselves to respond only to artificial stimuli, fast, novel, hyperstimulating, and struggle with real-life intimacy, which is slower and more emotionally nuanced. In such cases, abstaining, whether through NoFap or a structured dopamine detox can help the brain rewire. Neuroplasticity allows recovery, and many men do report improved sexual function and focus after reducing their porn use. But let's be clear, NoFap is not a cure-all. One of the most widely circulated myths is that abstaining from ejaculation raises testosterone dramatically. That 2003 Chinese study found a temporary spike in testosterone on day 7 of abstinence, but levels dropped back to baseline afterward. No long-term study has shown that avoiding masturbation leads to sustained testosterone increases. In fact, chronic stress from forced abstinence could actually lower testosterone due to elevated cortisol levels. Another myth is that quitting masturbation gives you superpowers, that it fundamentally changes your voice, body structure, and even charisma. There is no scientific evidence for these effects, but what does change is behavior. When someone commits to NoFap, they often also start going to the gym, eat cleaner, sleep more, cut screen time, socialize more, pursue goals. These habits do improve mood, confidence, and focus, but it's the whole lifestyle shift, not just abstaining, that drives the change. Now, what about the downsides of NoFap? Some men develop an unhealthy relationship with their own sexuality. They treat sexual urges as something to be feared or controlled, not understood. They develop guilt and shame around normal biological functions. There's even a psychological term for what happens when they fail. It's called the abstinence violation effect. That's when someone breaks a self-imposed rule and spirals into self-criticism or even depression. Some online forums take this even further, promoting extreme views, misogyny, and toxic masculinity. They equate abstinence with dominance and shame men who don't follow the grind set. This is dangerous. Sexuality is human. It's not something to suppress. It's something to integrate into a healthy life. So here's what I tell my patients as a urologist. If you feel like porn is affecting your concentration, motivation, or relationships, it's smart to cut back. If you're watching porn daily and can't stop even when you want to, that's a red flag. If you feel numb during real-life sex, that could be porn-induced desensitization. In these cases, a break from porn, and yes, even masturbation, might help reset your reward system. But abstinence isn't the goal. Control is. Awareness is. Masturbation, in moderation, is completely healthy. It helps you learn about your body, releases tension, and doesn't harm your hormones. Porn, in moderation, isn't inherently toxic either. But like any form of digital stimulation, overuse can create problems. So, what really works? Set boundaries. Don't watch porn out of boredom. Use it intentionally, not compulsively. Focus on real-life intimacy, not fantasy. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, movement, and purpose. If NoFap helps you jumpstart those habits, great. Use it as a tool, not a religion. Because masculinity isn't about abstaining, it's about mastering yourself. If this helped bring clarity or made you rethink what you've heard online, hit the like button and subscribe. I break down myths, explore male health, and give you the straight truth every week. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay healthy.